Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm live in the studio, so make sure you're getting involved in the chat and the comments. Going to be talking about Manchester United, obviously. What else are we going to be talking about? And what is going on with the managerial situation. We know that Erik Ten Hag was sacked yesterday, the club announcing it. Around this time yesterday morning, wasn't it, that it came out that Erik Ten Hag was no longer the Manchester United manager. And it now seems like the club have acted swiftly, and Ruben Amorim could be heading to Old Trafford. There's my phone going off. Oh, there I mean. So let us know what you think about that. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the... one sec. Oh, it's gone. It's all right. It was my better half ringing me. I was going to answer it and let her know that I'm live on this channel, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, let us know what you think about that, Ruben Amorim. We're going to have a little bit of an update there. What is exactly going on in terms of the deal? Is it going to happen? How far advanced are we with the talks? Romano tweeted this morning, I think it was, about it, and here's what he had to say. He was basically saying, if I can just find it, because there's all sorts going on, Ruben Amorim has given, there you go, initial green light to Man United. He's keen on joining the club, accepting the project and the terms discussed. Amorim respects Sporting, and so it depends on club-to-club negotiation. Now, exit clause for top clubs is around 10 million euros. Now, what's funny about that tweet, right, is Romano is going to do about 50 variations of that tweet over the next sort of 3 days. You are going to have so many tweets that are going to say basically what that is saying from Romano. It is going to be biblical. Let me know what you think about this so far. We're going to get into a little bit more detail because Ruben Amorim was asked about the Manchester United job in a press conference recently as well. Oh, hello, let me get rid of that. Loads of people in the comments already. Make sure as well you are hitting the like button as well, please, people. Howson's Whoop says, finally caught the live. Morning, Jay. Jay Fundo says, Amorim has aura, so he has my vote. Aura is a thing, innit? Everyone loves a bit of aura. Back in the day, no one mentioned it, but now everyone's on about aura. Tyler Wood, good to see you. Andrew James, Paul Gill. Let's have a look. Dan United 94 says, Jay, my brother in Christ, please pronounce Amorim correctly. How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce his name? Amorim. Is that right? Amorim. So I'm going to go with Amorim. Is that right? Let me know in the comments if that's how you pronounce it, because I've been saying Amorim. Amorim. There we go. Yeah, Joshua Bowater says hammer him. So it's like that. Hammer him. Yep, hammer him. Amorim. There you go. We got there in the end. Andy Moore says Ruben and Ruud's red and white army. Yeah, Ruud van Nistelrooy going to be in the dugout tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. I was sad that it didn't work out very tonight, but it will be quite interesting to see, exciting to see Ruud van Nistelrooy, an actual club legend, the best finisher I've ever seen in my life, at Manchester United, in the dugout for that Leicester game in the Carabao Cup. Andrew James, who's been a member of the Academy for 18 months, says the timing of Ten Hag sacking made me think we had a clear target lined up. There's no perfect candidate even, but Amorim excites me more than most. Let me know what you think about him. Do you think Amorim is the guy? He's obviously done well at Sporting. Is it 2 titles he's won? I think in 4 years. Ended their 19-year drought for a title. They're currently top of the Portuguese league with, I think it's 9 wins out of 9, 28 goals or something scored and 2 conceded. It's absolutely ridiculous record. Plus, they're doing well in the Champions League. I mean, United might have acted fast because they might have thought if we don't sort of act quickly, he might end up deciding to stay at Sporting and trying to do his bits in the Champions League, or someone else might come in for him. He was asked about this, the United links, yesterday. It is what Amorim had to say. You see the video there. He was expecting the question, and then he says, I was expecting that question, and obviously I'm not going to talk about my future. I'm not going to speak about my future because no matter what I say, I'd have to always talk about it. Since the first day, I said it was not worthy to ask about it, and I am not going to make any comments about my future. Pushed on whether he's proud to be even linked with the Manchester United job, Amorim simply responds, I am very proud of being Sporting head coach. He was never going to say, I can't wait to get out of here and get down to Old Trafford. Hey, you need to hurry up and get this deal done because I am finished here. He was never going to say that, was he? He was never going to say anything remotely controversial. He's saying the right things there, and you'd expect him to say that. If I was a Sporting fan, I'd be fuming if my manager said, oh, exciting times, I could be up to Old Trafford. Ain't going to happen. He didn't say anything. I get why journalists have asked to ask him that, because people say, why would you ask him? You're always going to have to ask that question. People think you're insane if you didn't, and he's given the sort of beige answer that you'd expect. Ridwan says, I think he won 2 league titles. I think he has, hasn't he? He's won 2 league titles since he's been there. Jeezy or Geezy Cruz says Xavi is stronger. Tiki-taka mentality football. I'm done with tiki-taka, me. Honestly, I am. Jamie Lomas says, if Amorim comes to United or does come to United, I'd love to see us bring in Gyökeres. Daniel Radnage is well in the chat as well. Good to see you. Lockstock says we don't have the players for tiki-taka. Sutton P, I love this one, says, I've good news and bad news. The bad news is I'm leaving Sporting. You're still thinking about the bad news, aren't you? I like that. Buffy whatever, what? Yeah, so stick tiki-taka up there, and then he doesn't finish it, but I think we can fill in the gaps there. Let us know what you think. Hit that like button as well, please, people. Over 1,300 people watching. We haven't even got 300 likes. That is a disgrace. Come on, let's hit that 300 likes mark. We can do this together. Let me know what you think of Ruben Amorim. Is he the guy? Let me know what you think about Erik ten Hag as well. I want to hear your opinions on that. Is anyone actually disappointed we sacked him in terms of thinks it's the wrong move? Does anyone think we should have given him more time? I've seen a lot of people who just sort of say, yeah, it was time for him to go. Not many who think he should have been given more time. There was a couple, some people looking at what Mikel Arteta did at Arsenal or was doing at Arsenal, others pointing towards Sir Alex Ferguson. Let me know what you think. I'll name this podcast later. It says, what's up, amazing people? Santa Notch says, Amorim will be the guy if INEOS allow him to. Mick Hollahan says, I'm gutted. Erik ten Hag didn't work out. I think we can all be disappointed that it didn't work out. After that FA Cup final, I was really hoping, and I actually thought we were going to kick on this season. This is it. That's the catalyst we need. You know what? We've had a horrible season in the Premier League, but we can bounce back from it. With this FA Cup win, can be the sort of springboard for Manchester United to move forward in the league. And this season, we just haven't got going, have we? Some of the losses, just you can blame VAR and referees all you want, but it's just not been good enough. Tahir Tofa says, Amorim is an exciting manager, but can you see United playing a back three? Is there any big team that plays three at the back anymore? Does he play a 3-4-3? At Sporting, I think someone was saying, we're going to be doing a bit more of a deep dive into Amorim's tactics, how he plays, what he's going to bring to Old Trafford a little bit later on. Joe Smith's going to be looking at that. So we're going to do a little bit more of a tactical analysis a little bit later. Getting into the fact, three at the back, is that going to work at Manchester United? Could it work at Manchester United when you think of some of the centre-backs we've got? We've got Lenny Yoro, we've got Mateus de Ligt, and we've got Lisandro Martinez. So there's three players capable of, you think, of playing together, playing in a back three. We'll have to wait and see. Floors says, I'm happy with recent signings and I would assume we can't afford to buy load. We need a left back and a striker, but hope De Ligt, Mats, Ugarte still play. João Pedro says, I'm a Portuguese Sporting fan heading to Estadio de Alvalade today for the game against Nacional. Really hope it's not his last match, but I guess we'll know in the post-match press conference. Thanks for that, João. I was chatting to my pal who's a Benfica fan last night. She was buzzing that he's going. She's like, you know what, he'll be a great manager for Manchester United, and I'm glad to see the back of him at Sporting, because obviously he's done a phenomenal job there, and we'll wait and see what happens. But is it enough? Because we were chatting about him yesterday on the Paddock podcast, and whilst we can all respect what he's done at Sporting, he's doing a good job with Sporting in Portugal. Is that enough for you to come to Manchester United? Potentially. Don't want to downplay it. I don't want to say, you know what, winning a Portuguese league is easy, because if it was easy, other managers would have done it before Amorim, because he's won the first title there in 19 years, so it's obviously not that easy. Be interesting as well to see Manuel Ugarte linking up with him, because it was weird that, chatting to my pal earlier, we signed Manuel Ugarte, didn't we? And it seemed like Erik ten Hag didn't really fancy him that much. He's not played him a lot. He's played him sometimes, but he's dropped him a lot. Amrabat the other day said that if you want to know why I'm not at Manchester United, ask Jason Wilcox, which kind of indicated that Erik ten Hag wanted to keep Sofian Amrabat. Also, Erik ten Hag's made no secret of the fact he wanted to keep Scott McTominay, and selling Scott McTominay enabled us to buy Manuel Ugarte. So it's just an interesting one, isn't it? The fact that you kind of got this midfielder that came in, that has worked with the managers being linked with us. You'd imagine the manager being linked with us, would be happy to play him, and yet the manager we just got rid of didn't really want him and didn't trust him. That's the impression I got anyway. I know it was only a handful of games, but games that you must win, he didn't start him. Let's have a look at the sort of nuts and bolts of this deal then. This is from TalkSport. You may take it with a pinch of salt. It's up to you. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. TalkSport understands members of the United hierarchy sounded out Amorim last week as INEOS chief Sir Dave Brailsford met the manager and are aiming to tie up the appointment swiftly. It is understood Amorim will more than treble his salary by joining Man United. Amorim currently earns around 2.15 million a year as sporting boss. No surprises there that he's going to treble his salary. You'd expect him to be on a lot more money at Manchester United than he was at Sporting. And I don't know the sort of ins and outs of all the managers' salaries, but most top Premier League managers get around sort of 5 or 6 million, maybe a little bit more, don't they, per year? Some get more than that, but that doesn't seem extortionate to me. Let me know what you think. Get involved in the chat in the comments. And hit that like button, please, people. We still haven't got to 300 likes. John Kweku says the Tottenham game was a lost straw, talking about Erik Ten Hag. Was for me as well. Everett Sonanot says understands. Yeah, it does a lot of heavy lifting, that the word understands, doesn't it, when you see a news article. TalkSport understands. What does that mean? Don't talk over Barnes says hold the players responsible. They definitely SHIT the bed. I understand that. Santa Notch says the highest pressure managerial position is going to demand a good payday. Exactly. Yep, you'd expect him to be pretty much, one of the, I'm going to say the top earners. Someone like Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta probably going to be on a lot more money than him. But you'd expect him to be up there because Manchester United is the biggest club in the Premier League, and that's just a fact. We just are. Andrew James says it was time for Ten Hag to go, unfortunately. Regardless, looking forward to Pogba conceding that the pen decision that got him sacked was an error will be embarrassing for them. It is weird, though, isn't it? Because you can look at it one way, you could go, all right, that penalty decision is ultimately what cost him his job. But did it? Was there already sort of discussions going on, or at least maybe not with Amorim himself or with Sporting, but certainly with the Old Trafford hierarchy, where they were looking at it going, you know what, he's not the guy. So even before that game, you don't know, do you? I mean, that might have been the straw that brought the camel's back, but he might have ended up getting sacked anyway eventually. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because for me, it was an absolutely disgusting decision, that penalty. And I think you can think that Erik Ten Hag's not the right man for the job. You can think that he was never going to bring success to Manchester United, or that the performance against West Ham, not converting those chances, wasn't good enough. And also think that was a shocking decision, because for me, it was. Got a tweet here by Mike Minet he works at BBC Radio Manchester. He's one of the producers, presenters there. There's a lot of rumours and reports going around that Amorim was being lined up to replace Pep Guardiola at City. Now, these sort of rumours started a couple of years ago, and I think this was when Pep Guardiola wasn't sure whether he was going to sign a new deal, and they were looking at Ruben Amorim because he was a young coach. He had success at Sporting as maybe taking over from Pep Guardiola. Now, according to what Mike Minet is saying there, you can say it's understood that interest from City on Amorim was pure speculation, with Pep Guardiola still in charge. There are also concerns that Amorim's system isn't keeping with City's style of play. Obvious link with Viana. Is that Hugo Viana, who was I think was he at Sporting. But that's as far as it goes. You might think that's true. You might also think that feels a bit like didn't fancy you anyway. When some girl shuns you, not interested. Oh, I didn't fancy her anyway. Feels a little bit like that, doesn't it? Who knows? Who cares? I'm not really too bothered about what goes on at Manchester City, to be honest with you. I'm more concerned about what goes on at Manchester United. And I think if Amorim does come in, then we've got a very exciting young coach who, has at least been linked with some of the top clubs in the world. Top clubs in terms of achievements recently, has been linked with some of the best teams, shall we say, in the world, which is what you want to see. You want a manager that's kind of in demand rather than one that no one was interested in because he's not really done anything. So an interesting one there. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Let us know what you think. Just on City as well. I'm sorry to talk about City. I said I wanted to move on. The Ballon d'Or meltdown from Brazil and Real Madrid is just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, obviously, I'm not, exactly feeling sorry for City in any way, shape or form, or Rodri. I just found it all odd. The fact that Rodri got the Ballon d'Or last night, I don't know if you noticed or you cared. And there was this massive meltdown by Real Madrid and Brazil players as well. And Richarlison did a big rant, I think, on Instagram. And the Real Madrid players and the manager didn't even turn up to the ceremony, even though I think Carlo Ancelotti still won an award. He didn't go. Yeah, it's just been all a bit weird. We've got another story here. This is one from Romano. This will cheer everyone up. Inter official balance shared this week confirmed they've received the €50 million fee for Andre Onana from Man United. Well, I can sleep easier tonight knowing that that's happened. Yeah, just almost an aside there that we've paid for Andre Onana. What have you made of Andre Onana this season? Actually, I've been impressed with him. What did you make as well of David De Gea's post? David De Gea did that little didn't he, post yesterday. A bit cryptic. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. I just think, yeah, you know what, just shut up. Listen, we all love David De Gea, what he did at United, but from 2018 onwards, he wasn't the same player. He cost us a lot of goals in big games as well. Let's not forget that. And I think it was right for him to move on and right for the club to bring in someone else. And I quite like Andre Onana, I'm not going to lie. And I don't like these players doing like cryptic little tweets or posts or liking certain posts. Either say it with your chest out or don't say it at all. In fact, I'd rather you didn't say anything at all. Hacker Smith, welcome to the Academy. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Harry Potter's done the emoji that I was talking about there. Graphique Biro says he's so bitter. Paul Smith says it was petty, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was. Ryan McKnight says that as well. Mike Fergus says, great morning show, as always, Jay. Thank you. Make sure we got to 300 likes. Can we get to 400? Smash a like. If you've not done so already, please hit that like button and let us know what you think about Ruben Amorim coming in. It looks like the deal's progressing there. Talks between the clubs are now seem to be key. It looks like the manager himself is keen to come in, on a move to Manchester United. It looks like he's at least open to it. Fabrizio Romano saying that he's basically given the green light to the move, and it's just between the two clubs to make an agreement. Now, we did hear from Ruben Amorim, I'll get it right eventually, last night, where he said he was asked about it, he said he wouldn't talk about it, which we all expect. I'd be massively surprised if he was to start weighing in with his opinion or giving you some insight into whether he's going to come to Old Trafford or not. Sporting have got a game tonight, and that's what he'll be focusing on. And we've obviously got a game tomorrow against Leicester. There was some reports, rumours that Ruud van Nistelrooy was going to do a press conference, but from what I gather, I don't think he is. I think the next time he's going to speak is going to be, or the first time he's going to speak as Manchester United manager, will be after the game and the press conference ahead of the Chelsea game. So I don't think we are going to hear from Ruud van Nistelrooy before the Carabao Cup game tomorrow night. It'll be interesting, though, seeing him in the dugout, and even more interesting if we see Ruben Amorim in the Old Trafford dugout anytime soon. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you to everyone who got involved in the chat and the comments. If you've not done so already, go and check out the other videos. We're going to be back later on today. Joe Smith is going to be giving us a bit of a deep dive into Ruben Amorim, what we can expect for him tactically if he does come to Manchester United, what he's done at Sporting, and can he bring that to Old Trafford. It looks like he's the big favourite to take over from Erik tonight. We'll wait and see if it happens. I've been Jay Motti. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.